How do we say noun in Arabic language? It's ismun. Okay, ismun. This word I want you to memorize because why? This word has another meaning, which is name. Okay, the word ismun, right? It means noun from the grammatical perspective, like noun verbs, right? And it also means name. So if I'm to ask you, what is your name? I will say, ma ismuka, masmuka, right? It's the same word, ismu. When we say Bismillah, what we're saying, bi ismillah, we're saying in the name of Allah. So that's the same word. So this word, please memorize. So we'll be talking about nouns. Nouns in Arabic language can be categorized into many different ways. Many different noun has many different attributes, right? Just like English, but in Arabic is much, much more concise and organized. But today we'll be talking about one element, which is whether or not noun is definite, definite, or it is indefinite. We'll be spending quite some time understanding these two concepts because it might be trivial, but it's not and we have to understand this thing from a grammatical perspective. Okay, so whether a noun is a definite or indefinite, right? We have this concept in English language, right? So main thing we have to understand when we say now, we understand what is definite and indefinite means, right? Indefinite means something that is not, it's not specified. So we don't know which. We have lots of pens, we have lots of books. We're saying a book. I have no idea which book you want. You gotta give me more, so it's indefinite. So we're talking from that perspective. So, it might be confusing, but indefinite means any noun we're not specifying, right? In English, we say a pen, a book, an apple, that kind of things. And the definite is something that we specify, right? For example, in English, we say the book, right? So there's a lot to talk about indefinite. I just wanted to clarify that thing before we move on because it might be confusing for some. So in Arabic language, and perhaps in other languages as well, but we want to focus that in Arabic language, we consider all nouns to be indefinite by default. Okay, so this class, you will be hearing the term default a lot. uh, uh, it's very helpful for us to understand because we cannot be thinking about everything at once. We want to assume something first, right? We want to assume something first, and then something has to change, or you have to give me something in order to think otherwise. Okay, so our first assumption is that every noun is indefinite. Finish, our job is done. Now if you're to come and tell me, no, that's not indefinite, that's definite, well, you better give me some proofs. Okay, so that means we have to study what we have to study the definite nouns because that's where we need proofs. Indefinite, there's nothing to talk about. I assume everything is indefinite, right? You understand? But there's something to talk about in indefinite as well, which is, I don't remember right now. One of these things going to happen is sometimes I don't know if I mentioned something in this class or other class. I already see that started to happen, right? In the last class, I assume I said something, so remind me if something, you're confused. So indefinite noun in English, it's not quite same, but sometimes we say a book, right? A book, right? A pen. Okay, we use those. Maybe I'll use another one so that we can use the article an apple, right? I don't remember we talked about this or not, but in Arabic language we specify indefinite using tanween. Okay, we using tanween. So we have kitabun. Okay, so we understand this kitabun, this tanween indicates that something is indefinite, right? And we have to understand it doesn't matter whether or not it is tanween or fatha, kasra, or dhamma, right? It doesn't matter. As long as it's tanween, we understand this is indefinite. Why is it, for example, why is it here double fatha or double kasra? That has to do with grammar. There might be a reason why we're doing this, but the fact that it is still tanween, we're still indicating that this is what? This is indefinite. Okay, so this part, make sure you understand. Okay. Okay, so that's good. So let me give you one more example, right? Um, uh, um, uh, Again, remember when we study grammar, I really like to give you less new vocabularies, so it's easier for us to uh, focus on the grammar, right? Qalamun, right? A pen. Good. So this much we understand. Main thing to understand from here from indefinite is that this is a default case. We assume everything is indefinite, and the concept of tanween. If you understand these two things, alhamdulillah, there's not much to talk about in indefinite, right? Everything is indefinite and it has a tanween. Okay, and keep that thing in your mind that in Arabic language something should be clicking, but in Arabic language everything has exception, everything has exception. Okay, keep that thought always in your mind, right? So that's so, but we don't study exception. We study exception when the situation comes, right? We study the rules. Jayid. Okay, so now we'll be talking about definite. So what is definite now? Some of these things we want to study from the English language so that it is clear and it's easier for, a lot of these things are similar, right? It's a language. Most of these things, every language has those concepts. They just treat them differently, and some language focuses on something more than the others, right? So let's see what we understand from the definite noun from English language perspective. Okay, so anything you can think of, like what would you consider as a definite noun in English language? The article the. Okay, everybody comes up with this one first. Very nice. Okay, so what else? Anything else? That's it. That's the only definite things we have in English. Nothing else can be definite. The problem is pronouns. Very nice. Okay, so I'm seeing some pronouns. Good. Pronouns are definite for sure. Because why is a pronoun is definite? You cannot use a pronoun until you define something that, you're talking about something that has been defined before, right? Even though you initially started with a boy, which is indefinite, but then now you're saying he. So now everybody knows who you're talking about, right? You're talking about that a boy. Jayed, good. Anything else? Come on. At least one more thing should be popping in your head. Our names, right? The name, proper name should be definite, right? Isn't it? Proper names, right? Makes sense? So all the proper names should be definite. So I'll give you a few examples, and then, for example, proper name, Allah, that is a proper name, right? That's why it's definite. Muhammad, what am I reading? Muhammad, right? Muhammad, Muhammadun. That is what? That is a proper name, so it's definite. Okay. Uh, Amina. That is what? Definite. Makes sense? Because these are proper nouns. Yeah, proper names. It's simple, common sense, right? But believe it or not, these things, even though it's common sense, it will be very important. I'll be talking about why it's important. In Arabic language, when you have two nouns side by side, everything changes based on whether or not the nouns are definite or indefinite. How do you combine them? What is the combination? What is the permutations? Is the first one is indefinite? So everything will change based on this simple fact. If the first one is definite and the second one is indefinite, that means something else. If the first one is indefinite, second one is indefinite, that means completely something else. You understand? So please pay attention. It's something we understand, but it's very fun as well. In Arabic language, they use these things very interestingly. Okay, so proper nouns clear. So pronoun, I don't want to give you a lot of pronouns. Pronouns are coming in later chapters, but the one that is coming very soon, which is he, like hua. Okay, hua. Hua is he. Okay, I can give you another one, she, but that comes much later. But let's just keep with that. But you understand, right? Any pronouns. It doesn't. It's not only he. It could be he, she, me, I, you. All of these things are definite. Right? Makes sense. But aren't you guys missing one thing, guys? We spent, all our time so far studying them. But how can you guys miss it? What happened here? Yeah, what is that? You told me that. What is that? What do you call that? You're right, but I'm trying to move this one. Okay, good. What do you call this thing? 1 second. Okay, which is, yes, you're right, that, but that is called demonstrative pronoun, right? Demonstrative. Don't worry too much about the names, but you're right. demonstrative pronouns. But if you study advanced grammar, believe it or not, everything has Arabic name. I'm being so nice to you guys, not giving you, for example, proper name is Ismul Alam, pronouns is Dhamir, demonstrative pronouns Ismul Ishara. So everything has names. If I start giving you those names, I'm already seeing so many less people in my class right now. Okay, so whoever is surviving, Alhamdulillah, may Allah, I'm pretty sure some, other people might come later. But what I'm saying is that it might be overwhelming, right? We're we're busy. We just want to take information bits by bit, right? So I'm not giving you those names. That's why I'm trying to teach you from English language perspective. So it's much easier for you, right? In you go to Arabic grammar, they don't talk about English. They just give you Arabic as it is, right? Yeah, so the demonstrative pronouns, right? It's something that pointing pronoun, as the brother JB pointed out, that. So how do you say that? You said that, so I'm going to write ذلك first. And how do you say this? Is هذا, right? Remember the two words that we spent last 2 weeks, right? So these are also definite nouns. Why? Simple, right? You're pointing at something, everybody knows what you're talking about. So that's why these are definite nouns. So these parts are clear so far, right? We understand the proper name should be definite, pronouns are definite, and the demonstrative pronouns are definite. So these are pretty obvious in some perspective. Now the thing that, what's for she? Okay, so I didn't want to put it, but you asked for it. I'm going to put it here. Okay, yeah. This is something that we'll learn, I think, in chapter 6, as far as I know. Chapter 6. Okay, so in this book, until chapter 6, every word will be masculine, more or less, right? So that's why you're welcome. Okay, so yeah, these two pronouns for now is fine. These two pronouns will be good for up until, as far as I know, I don't know, maybe long run, 6, 7 chapter or something like that. Okay, demonstrative. Okay, so the, actually when I write dhalika, remember there is a small alif here, dhalika. Okay, and hada, same thing, hada. Okay, so dhalika and hada. You're welcome. Jayid? Okay, now our main study when we talk about them, definite nouns, is in this concept of the, right? That's where the main study is. So, and the other ones is like, they're definite by the word itself. Like there's nothing I can do. It's who I cannot change it. It's who I say. It's a pronoun. It's a pronoun. Dhalika, I cannot make it indefinite. I'm saying that it's definite. There's nothing I can do, right? The word itself dictates that this is definite. But the interesting thing is comes in the word the. In Arabic, we have its equivalence, which is al, alif lam. Okay, al. Okay, it is in Arabic language. The is al. So every time you see al coming in Quran, or you hear something in dua, believe it or not, you're saying the. Okay, it has the concept of definite somewhere. So this is something that we'll be studying right now. A few things about alif lam. One thing is this alif that you see, I don't know if I talked about it. This alif is actually hamzatul wasl. Hamzatul wasl. Okay, this alif is hamzatul wasl. Means it's a weak hamza. If something is before it, you don't pronounce it. Okay, so if you have a wa right now, you're not going to be pronouncing wa'al. That's not proper way of pronouncing. You have to say wal. You have to go right to the lam. Okay, so this is hamzatul wasl, right? So we are saying alif lam, but just keep that in mind. It is actually, because what did I say about alif? It cannot take any harakat. So why am I putting harakat here? Why am I putting al here with the, that means it's not alif, it's hamzatul wasl. Okay, so how do we say? No problem. So inshallah, hopefully we're not gonna have another breakdown like that. So I have what, half hour to go through? No, I have more than half hour. That's good. Okay. Okay. So where did I look? Left the book, right? So this part you understood when I said al kitab, right? Okay. Let me start from here. No problem. So we want to translate the book. Okay, we want to translate the book, and we learned all of these words. We know how to say the, which is al. Okay, we say the by saying al, very simple. And we also learned how to say a book, which is kitabun. Simple, right? So just like in English, we want to say the book. English, we write this way. In Arabic language, we write this way. So we have our the, al, and kitab is a book. Okay, جيد. So now one thing we have to understand in Arabic language, al, see in English, the can stand by itself. No problem, right? It's just a treating, it's just a separate word. It can stand by itself. But alif lam cannot stand by itself. So the al is actually is a harf. It's like a some kind of particle, right? So it needs to be, in this case, this particle has to be attached to another noun, right? So okay, big deal. I could do that. So I can combine this one. So al, you want me to attach with the kitab? Okay, I'm attaching with the kitab. Al kitab bun. Okay, so jayid. So now we have, it looks like a one word, but believe it or not, there's two words here. Okay, because we have al, the, and we have a book. Okay, so now you can, maybe I'm pretty sure some of you start scratching your head and start seeing something problem with this concept. Okay, so what's going on here? Everything in my head, everything looks like probably everything seems okay. I'm combining the book. So what's going on? What do you think? Do you spot something wrong, something like it's bothering you when I say al-kitabun? Anything? What's bothering you? And you have to give me reason why it's bothering you. What do you think? Okay, so very nice. Because I give you whole talk about saying this tanwin business is what? This tanwin business is what? It's indefinite. The whole purpose of putting a tanwin means to indicate that it is indefinite. And whole purpose of putting alif lam is to indicate that it is a definite. Now we have this race, right? Oxymoron situation. How can you have? Okay, yes. Yes, sure. So how can we have indefinite and definite at the same word? It's almost like saying in English, the a book. How can you say the and then you say a book at the same time? It doesn't make sense, right? The a pen. So now we have to figure. So glad that you guys seeing this problem. Issue is because I talked to you about that the tanwin is indefinite and alif lam is definite. So obviously we cannot have these two in the same word. That's the first thing should be popping in your head. We cannot have alif lam and tanwin in the same word. Remember what I said, guys, that in Arabic language, everything has an exception. This one, you can have a smile thinking that there's no exception in this case. You can never have, in Arabic language, you can never have tanween and alif lam in the same word because it's even our common sense doesn't allow it, right? How can we say definite and indefinite in the same word? So when we say tanween, I just explained to you, I'm just going to explain to you again. So we're talking about what? Double of everything, double haraka, double of dhamma, double of fatha, and double of kasra. This part is clear? Okay, so we call it, this is dhamma, this is still fatha, and this is still kasra, right? These are same. These are still fatha, dhamma, and kasra. But the issue is, but these are in doubled form, which means they're in tanween. Okay, tanween, which means I'll just write doubled. Okay, you understand this concept? So just make sure you understand that there's still dhamma. It's still a dhamma. Doesn't matter if you have one or two. It's still dhamma. It's still fatha. It's still kasra. So right now we talked about that tanween. When you have a tanween in a word, it makes it indefinite. So only thing we have to do. It's not we got the problem. Alhamdulillah, we understand the issue. 911 case, no problem. Nothing to do. Nothing to worry about. Only thing we have to do is we have to remove the tanween. That's all. So it means we have to remove this tanween. You have to do something about this tanween. Yes, dammatain, yes. If you say dammatain, yeah, fatatain and kasratain. Okay. So tain, it's a grammatical error if you say tain because if dammatani, fatatani, kasratani, because you will understand. But yeah, I'm not trying to give you those terms right now. Okay? Because when you say dammatain, it is in accusative case or genitive case. So, you have to have a reason why you're saying tain. Anyway, that's a little bit, I was trying not to, confuse. But yes, but the concept is whether you say dammatani or fatatani or kasratani, we're still talking about dhamma. See, the word dhamma remains. I just want you to, think that this tanween, whether you have a tanween or not, it doesn't change the fact it is still a dhamma. And that will be very important. Okay. So only thing we want to say is, okay, good, I understand. Just remove the tanween. Okay, so just remove the tanween. So now we have to understand a little bit, what do I mean by remove the tanween? That's what I mean, that it doesn't change the fact it is dhamma. Remove the tanween means, okay, just get rid of one. Just get rid of the double one. Remove the tanween of fatha means just get rid of extra one. Then you have fatha. And remove the tanween of kasra means just get rid of the extra one. So you still have kasra. Okay, so you still have dhamma, fatha, and kasra. You understand? So if I say you have a tanween of dhamma and I'm telling you remove the tanween, what are you going to do? You're going to change to fatha? You're going to freak out? No, just remove one of the extra dhamma. So you have dhamma. And it goes vice versa. You have a dhamma, just one dhamma, and I'm asking you to make it tanween. What does it mean? It means you put tanween of dhamma. Okay, so you put one extra. Okay, you see, this thing you have to be a little bit comfortable interchanging. You have to be comfortable how you go one state to another, dhamma to dhamma and vice versa. So you have to be, I know it's a very trivial, you understand tanween and dhamma and whatnot, but we have to be very comfortable changing this to state from the one dhamma to tanween, tanween of dhamma, one kasra to double kasra, one fatha to double fatha. And then you will have a situation, wait a minute, now I have to change back the other way. From one dhamma, I have to put double dhamma, right? Just like what we're doing right now. Okay. But what you cannot do, you have to understand that what something is different is that from changing from one state to another, for example, from going to dhamma to fatha, that's something else. That's not what we're talking about. That is much more stronger case from going from dhamma to fatha. For those things, you really need a very, very good reason why you're doing this. And we're going to be studying this when we study those. Right now, only thing we're talking about, changing from tanween state to non-tanween state, whether it's tanween of dhamma, tanween of fatha, or tanween of kasra. Okay, so we will have situation when we have to change, and one of the situation is here. So only thing we have to do here is, because we have this situation where we're saying the and we're saying a at the same time, we have to remove this a. Just like in English, you're going to remove a. In Arabic, you remove the tanween. So what are you left with? You're left with, remember, let me see who said in the beginning. I think, what was it? Was it? SubhanAllah. I know somebody gave me the answer. Where did it go? I think I lost it. Anyway, someone gave me the answer, said kitabun. Okay, so everything was there. So only thing we have to remove the tanween. So what we're left with? Al-kitab. What goes here? Al-kitab what? Bu. That's it. Al-kitabu. Okay. So al-kitabu. You see what's going on? So make sure you understand this step, even though this might be a little bit baby steps, but I want you to be very comfortable, just like how we do some bigger math in the beginning, we break them up, but because that will help you, and a lot of we'll be using this alif lam a lot more, and we have to, when we talk about adjective phrases, you will see how often we have to interchange between these two states very fast. It's very fast, you have to think and you have to change. So any question about this concept right now? Basically, alif lam is the definite. Let me see, what's the question? Yes, we have to make sure alif lam is always attached to noun. Alif lam cannot stand by itself, just like unlike English. English, the is just a word. It's standing by itself. Alif lam cannot stand by itself. Alif lam always has to. So let us do one more. Okay. A pen. We're doing the easy ones, right? A pen. So I'm gonna do this one more time with you guys, but then inshallah I'll ask you something later. So a pen, Okay, we want to say the pen. The pen. A pen is what? We just learned. Qalamun. Remember the moon? And the pen is something what we're trying to find out. Okay, the is alif lam. Pen is qalamun. Okay, so we said we alif lam cannot stand by itself. Okay, no problem, no problem. I can combine them. Al qala moon. Okay, now your brain start, scratching the, the steam start coming through your ears because something is not making sense. You have alif lam, you have tanween. Okay, no problem. Calm down. So we can just make it al qalamu. Get rid of the tanween, and life is beautiful. Al qalamu. Okay. So obviously, very soon when you do few example, you can just jump from here all the way to here. No problem, right? It's very simple, but I want you to see what's going on here, right? And why we're doing these things. Okay, so far it's clear. Okay, so now let's see how much clear it is if I give you this one. This means what? What does it mean? Somebody? Al-baytu. What is al-baytu means? What do you think? The house. Very nice. So let's translate as the house. Even if somebody writes, don't be shy, just write it down. No problem. If if you're not copying, if you had the answer in mind anyway, just write it down. Okay. So the house, right? Because we have alif lam, we have the, and house, baitun, we learn baitun. Okay, so how would you translate this one into a house? What do we have to do? The first thing, we have to get rid of alif lam. We get rid of alif lam. Baitun, yes. The first, you get rid of alif lam. So you have baitu. But now you cannot have this kind of state, baitu. Isn't that Oh yes. Good. Hey, good. Yeah, this is gonna happen with me all the time. Just point it out. For example, here I wrote it. The other one I didn't. Yes, it happens. You talking. No problem. Yes, good spot. So now we have al baitu, but we understand we're saying a house, so you cannot have al baitu. You need tanwin. So see, right now you have to put back the tanwin. It's the opposite. Okay. So you have to put back the tanwin. What does it mean? Put back the tanwin. Okay, just make it double. Simple. Okay, baitun. So now we have a house. Okay, you guys have to be a little bit, so we have to be a little bit comfortable doing this kind of exercise. It might be trivial, especially when you hear them, it's very simple, but sometimes that's why we have to go back to the book and try to do them ourselves. Okay, Jade. Okay, so there's one concept about alif lam, which is really, it's not my topic to talk about here, because I feel like this is something that you learn when you learn how to read Quran, in the Tajweed class and whatnot, which is the concept of, I'll just mention a little bit, but anyway, I don't feel too much interest in this one, which is a concept of the sun letter and the moon letters. Okay, so alif, when you have alif lam, you can have sun letters and the moon letters. Okay, so it's going to be harfu or huruf, depends on which one book is using. Al-Qamariya. Right. Let me check if the book says harf or huruf. Huruf is the plural, and harf is, book use the plural. So I don't want to confuse you guys. So you have al-huruf al-qamariya. Don't ever spelling, you can go back in the book. I'm just quickly going to mention this thing. And you have al-huruf asham, subhanallah. See, don't worry about my spelling right now, because if I'm writing, for example, if I'm just doing this one for you guys, if I'm writing it, I'll write this way. Can you read this handwriting? Believe it or not, this is seen, this is meme, and this spot, empty spot here, this is seen. That's how Arab will write it. So it's, so I have to do a little bit extra work for you guys. That's no problem. And there's no way I'll be putting, sitting here doing that 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dots. No, they just put this one and that means 3 dots. For the bottom, they'll just put one line. That means 2 dots. Anyway, no problem. So this is the concept that we have to, something, as I said, it usually we learn in the Tajweed class. What are these things? It means, I'm pretty sure, some word when you combine with alif lam, you pronounce the lam, and some word you skip the lam. Okay, what are those? One of them is, because it says al huruful qamariya. When you have, one of the example is qamar. What is qamar? Qamar is moon. Qamar is moon. Then some letters in here, for example, any letters that is a huruful qamariya, you will pronounce the lam. For example, al babu. Okay, you see now I'm pronouncing the lam, al babu, right? But here at tajir, I'm not saying al tajir. I'm not saying that. I'm going right. I'm skipping the whole lam, going all the way to the ta. At tajir. Okay, so that's all he's talking about, when you skip it and when you don't skip it. So I'm going to put maybe red when you don't, you avoid it, and this one when you say it, doesn't matter. You understand what's going on? So this is something, please the book really give you a huge list. I'm surprised, the book went that far. That's good. So please go through those words. And this is something that, the book can give you all the letters. What are the, usually that's not how, it's not helpful. Even if you memorize which are the letters, it's much better. Your brain will pick up. You keep on reading, you will understand what to say. You will see, it will come in situation, you cannot say al-tajir. It even sounds kind of weird. What's it? On the, in blue, you said we pronounce al. So this one, yes, al babu. Here you will pronounce al, but here no. Okay. So for example, if you guys memorize this word al ab, you will pronounce the al. Okay. For example, but if you say ar-rajul, when you have ra is one of those shamsiya letter. So you have to skip the whole lam. You have to go right over here. Ar-rajul. Okay. So yeah, this one, we can spend time in class, but honestly, there's nothing else. It's just something that you just, I didn't even memorize those letters. Which one is, for example, Ra is one of the Shamshil letter, Ta is one of the Shamshil letter. What's the point of memory? It's something usually happens by, you read them, you will kind of figure out. It's that's how I got it. Okay. So, but please, the book, the good thing is the book give you a big list. Even if you read those lists like few times, you will see your tongue, your brain kind of sets on those letters automatically. You try to read, otherwise you will feel something different. You'll feel something is off. Okay. And one thing you will learn about Arabs and the Arabic language, when it comes to pronunciation, if they have any difficulties with their pronunciation, wallahi, I really don't know how sensitive they were. And they will do anything they can to remove that kind of difficulties. And that's good for them, but believe it or not, that's bad for us, because especially when you go to the verbs and the grammar rules, they change the word completely just to make it easier for their tongue. Okay, so these rules about the huruf shamsiya and qamariya, this is not like, they're playing around, they figure out, what, guys, we don't have anything to do, let's just screw this language up, right? No, it's not that they have hard time, when they combine alif lam, it's easier on their tongue to pronounce certain ways, and then they figure this out, so and if you study tajweed, you'll know why. It's not random. If you study the philosophy and everything, you'll see depends on whether the letter is coming from your throat or your tongue, and where's the alif or lam is. If something is closer to lam, it's easier. There's whole reason behind it, right? So that's all. So, but I'm just keeping you, I'm just letting you know, you will see that so many changes happen just because they have difficult pronouncing some of the words, right? Okay, Jade, good. So that's all I really want to talk about from this concept, okay? So please go to the book. I believe the book that I give you, I'm just gonna quickly show you the book, okay. We have a lot more to talk about in the definite, but I'll just show you what I mean by there. It's a long chapter here, okay? Here, huruful qamariya and huruful shamsi, okay? Oopsie, not this one. Subhanallah, what am I doing? Make sense? So here you see they give you a whole list. Some of these words are new. Majority of these words are new, okay? And okay, so I see they give you all the letters, like the ta, tha, dal, zal, ra, zay, sin, shin, okay? So please, that's something I hope you're comfortable with this already. If not, then just go through this page, okay? It's the page number 19. Good. Before I start talking about something else, which is related to the same topic, you have any question about the alif lam? How do you make it into all the question, all the tanwin business and whatnot? This is lesson number 3. Okay, so we're doing lesson number 3. So yeah, you're welcome. So now there's one. Remember why I was saying that we have to kind of know why, the whether or not noun is definite or indefinite. In Arabic language, it is super important because I just mentioned a little bit in the beginning, because you have two words. You have two words. I'm just writing two words. I don't know why. You have two words, and I don't even know how to spell the word. You have two words. How do you put? You know what? I don't even want to say word. I can be specific. Two nouns. Okay, two nouns. You have two nouns. How do you put two nouns side by side? When you have two nouns side by side, the meaning, the complete structure will be different based on whether or not one of these noun or which one of these nouns are definite and which one of these are indefinite. This is something very interesting, but if I give you the whole picture, you will be freaking out. So last thing I want that's happening to you guys. So I'll just explain to you. First thing you have to understand what I mean. For example, I'll give you some of the combination. When I say D plus D, I'm meaning the one of the first noun is definite, second noun is definite. It means one thing. If your first noun is definite, second noun is indefinite, that means completely something. We're talking about the same noun, doesn't matter. You have first noun is indefinite, second noun is indefinite. That means one thing. If you have first noun is indefinite, second noun is definite, that is completely different things. I'm not going to be explaining all of this thing right now. I just want you to feel this thing, right? You have to understand why it's important. So you have to know which one, even though if it's a noun, Muhammad, and you never knew this is a definite, you will lose the whole thing. You will change the meaning, because you have to know the Muhammad is definite. So you have to think about what the word comes next. If I put indefinite, it will be something else. After Muhammad, if I put definite, it will be something else. Okay, so the fact that we studied a little bit about this one, you will see why it's important. The fact that we know pronouns are definite, demonstrate pronouns are definite, these will be super important. Okay, so you understand these combinations. Okay, I'll give you examples so it will be clear. Today, our focus will be in this one. Okay, only this one. Okay, and maybe in the chapter 4 or 5, I think they will be talking about other ones. So what does it mean, D plus, our famous D plus? Yes. So what happens when you have definite plus indefinite? Believe it or not, we construct a sentence. Every time you put a definite noun, and after that you put indefinite noun, you want it or not, you have created a complete sentence. Okay, super cool, right? So let's think about what we said in the last chapter. We said هذا kitabun. What is هذا? Definite or indefinite? Just write D or I. I want you to think, I can talk whole day, but yes, even if it's simple, I don't care. Just put D, I, it makes me feel better. Yes, هذا we just learned is D. Why? Because it is what? It is demonstrative pronoun. We just talked about it. Make sense? So this is D. Okay, good. And what is kitabun? It is definite or indefinite? Huh? Indefinite. So now, remember what I said? If the first one is definite, second one is indefinite, we construct a sentence. Was it a sentence when we studied before? What did we say? This is a book. Is it a sentence? Yes, sentence. It's like, I didn't want to, you put the definite and you put the indefinite. Now I have to put this is because you're making a sentence. I cannot just say this book. If I say this book, this is not a sentence. It's something else. We'll study how to say this book in I think chapter, what is it? Chapter 7 or something, right? We'll study that. That is something else. But because you're saying, you're putting the definite and indefinite, now I have to construct a sentence. Right? So that's why we have to put the is. This is a book. It's a sentence. هذا كتاب. This is a sentence. Same thing. ذلك نجم. Okay? ذلك نجم. That is, again, definite, indefinite. That is a star. So you see, we've been doing this one all along, but we didn't understand. Now we understand. So what else can we do? Look what else we can do. We can say Muhammadun. Okay, in the other class, somebody like caught me boom off guarded, like not off guarded, like, just caught me and asked me a question. Let me see, what about this class? Muhammadun waladun. What do you think about this one? This is me, by the way. Muhammadun waladun. What is Muhammad? D, okay. Waladun. Do you know what waladun means? Did we study its word? Waladun is a boy, or I think we talked about this, a boy or a son, it could be, yes. So what is that? It's I, it's indefinite, right? Good. Now, why is Muhammad definite? Anything, like, I'll give you like 20 seconds or something. So anything like bothers you from here? Muhammadun waladun. Anything bothers you? Nothing bothers you. Tanwin where? So you're saying this one, right? So waladun has a tanwin, right? Okay, so good. So I'm getting exactly, people, you guys are thinking, that's good. So Sister Faria is saying that the fact that we have tanwin in Muhammadun is bothering her. Why is it bothering her? I spend like so much time trying to convince you that tanwin means what? Indefinite. The whole lecture that I gave you, all these things about tanwin business, it means indefinite. All of a sudden, I put tanwin in Muhammadun, and you're supposed to think that's definite. Okay, so that's good, very good observation. But so the issue is, so when we talk about this one, we talk about common noun. That's maybe what I needed to clarify here. You understand what common noun, but the problem is when I teach Arabic grammar, I end up teaching you guys much more English grammar than the Arabic grammar should be. That's what happened to me when I was studying Arabic grammar. I end up learning a lot about English grammar because they don't teach these things in school anymore, right? Because in Arabic, in English, we have proper noun and the common nouns, right? Proper nouns are the names of unique things, and common nouns are like simple thing, ball, book, and all these things, right? You understand, right? So when you have a common noun, that's when you have a tanwin, it is indefinite. It's not, we're not talking about proper noun. Okay, so you know, just keep that in your mind. Okay, so Muhammad is a proper noun, so this is not the same thing as a common noun. Is it clear? Okay, good. So this part is clear, so don't get confused about this tanween, because these are like side by side. This is a proper noun, which is still the very good, and walad is common noun, which is a boy, is indefinite. Guess what? So what? How would you translate this one? Muhammadun waladun. Let's see. How would you translate this? What did we say when we have definite and then indefinite? What happens? It becomes a sentence. If the first one is definite and the second word is noun is indefinite, it becomes a sentence. So Muhammad is definite and second one is indefinite. Answer is Muhammad is a boy. Logic, a Muhammad a boy. Answer is Muhammad is a boy. Yes. So that logic, yes, you have to put those apostrophe s. Sorry, all this question, simple mark that this is for a common noun. For a proper noun, this doing business is whole other things. Yes, you're right. Muhammad is a boy. Yes, Muhammad is a boy. Okay. Why we're doing all is and everything, we talked about it, because it's a sentence. We need, in English language, we cannot say a sentence without any helping verb. Okay, in Arabic we're saying Muhammad a boy. That's good. In Arabic they understand, but in English we have to put this is, right? So far so clear? Good. Any question from here? From the grammar perspective, you understand? Let's quickly just go through one more time, very short. Okay, so we said noun in Arabic language, we say ismun, noun, right? Ismun has another definition, which is a name. Your name, masmuka. What is your name? Okay, you say ismi, ismi al-amin Ahmed, ismi Muhammad, my name is, right? So this word you should memorize. Okay, no excuse. This word is in Quran, like so many places. Okay, so ismun can be noun from the grammatical perspective. It can also be name. So we said that a noun can be definite or indefinite. Makes sense. Indefinite is the default case, meaning we like to assume, because we're lazy, we like to assume everything is indefinite. If you're saying no, it's not, then you come up with, let's go to court and you give me an example. Why? Give me a reason why. And one of four reasons we have, we can say, okay, this is this is a proper noun, or this is a pronoun, or this is a demonstrative pronoun, or the word has alif lam. So these are case to make an indefinite into a definite. Believe it or not, there are more. Okay, as far as I know, there are 8 different ways we can make a noun into definite. But no worries, a few of them coming in the maybe in chapter 4 or 5. Right now, we don't have to worry about the other ones. Okay, these one the most important ones. Okay. So, and we said that indefinite, we put, for the common nouns, we put tanween. When we have a tanween, and just think simple, don't make it too complicated. Think, if it's tanween and it's not a proper name, then it is indefinite. Okay? Qalamun, kitabun, babun, okay, miftahun, okay, shamsun, all of these things are indefinite. Okay, and we just talked about definite, and we mentioned that when we have alif lam, and we cannot have tanween anymore. This rule is, believe it or not, is one of the golden rule in Arabic language. There is no way you can have tanween and alif lam at the same word. So what does it mean? We talked about just removing tanween. Okay, we understood a little bit about tanween. The tanween simply means you have double of all of these harakat. Okay, double of dhamma. So we can call it tanween of dhamma, or dhammatani, however you want to say it, right? And just removing means you just remove, but removing doesn't mean you can change the dhamma to fatha. That's something else. Okay, so hopefully you understood this one. And now, okay, some of you are asking about the sun letter and the moon letter. Yeah. So yeah, this is like something something about has to do with the book. Give you a very good example. Basically, if you go back to the book, let's go back to the book. Yes, every letter that you see here, where's my highlighter? Every letter from the huruful qamariya. Huruful qamariya is when you have this letter, any of this letter, alif or ba or jim or ha or kha or ain or ghain, or fa, qaf, kaf, mim, wow, ha, yeah. See how difficult it will be for you to memorize this thing. That's why usually, as far as I didn't memorize, as far as I know, people they don't memorize these letters. It's very difficult for them to memorize the letters. And then thinking, oh, okay, so jim now, is better. So basically what they're saying, if you have these letters in alif lam, then you have to pronounce the lam. Simple as that. So this is a mistake. It should be it should be shukun here, al ab. Okay. So it means that you have to pronounce the alif lam. So you have to pronounce the al clearly. Al babu, al jannatu, al himaru, al khab, al khubz. Khubz is what? Do you know these meanings? Huh? The book gave you the vocabularies for this thing, right? Can someone verify if these meanings are in the vocabulary list or not while I'm going through this one? Because otherwise I might have to give you the meanings for all of them. Okay, al-ain is eyes, right? So you see I'm pronouncing alif lam in all of them. Okay, you see? That means when you have these letters, you have to pronounce alif lam, al. Then you say the word. And also some not in the lesson. Okay, that's good. If they give extra, I don't have any problem. But if they miss something, maybe I have to give you the meaning. Now, huruf shamsiya is something that is the opposite. You don't pronounce the lam. You go right to the letter. Okay. So, for example, when you have ta, you say at-tajir. You have tha, you say at-thawb. Okay. You have dal, you say ad-dik. Remember, we said ad-dikun. This is one of this. So basically, there's nothing to it. So you just kind of have to know these letters. Some letters you pronounce alif lam, and some letters you don't pronounce alif lam. Obviously, we're talking about when alif lam is connected. We're not talking about when the word is just by itself, right? So, for example, in the word is dikun is by itself. We're not talking about this thing. At this point, we're not talking about huruful shamsiya or qamariya. Even though you should know that what the dal is huruful shamsiya. Because why? As soon as you put alif lam, okay, as soon as you put alif lam here, now it's the question. Now the question comes. How do you pronounce? Do you say al-diku or you say ad-diku? That's the question. That's what we're trying to find out. Because this is a pronunciation issue, right? So, if we say something, maybe it's wrong. This wrong is not like meaning wrong. It's something like it's wrong. It's not, I don't think it's such a big mistake, but definitely Quran recitation, it will be a big issue. So only thing we want to know, do we say al-diku or I say ad-diku? Do I read al-babu or I say ab-babu? Okay, that's all. So I think the best way is like, if somebody needs help, you can just read few times, and believe it or not, your brain, you will see, start, it's, adjusting to that sound. And when you say something otherwise, it's not, you'll feel a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, so that's all huruful shamsi and qamari means. Huruf is the letters. The singular is harf. Harfun is a letter, and this is hurufu is the letters. Okay, and qamar is a moon, and the qamariya, it's just making it into moon letter, like for example, it's like it's making it into adjective. You can think of like that. Okay, it's just making the word qamar into an adjective, and shams is the sun. Okay, so you're welcome. So if please go through this because tomorrow, next week we'll also go through this chapter 3 a little bit when we're doing the exercise. So if you have any problem with any word you don't understand, please let me know. Okay, because we're not in this page yet. That's why I'm not going through. So I want to go back to the first page. Okay, back to the first page. Okay, so quickly let's see what the book is talking about. So we understood this concept, right? We have baitun, and when we say al, we remove the tanwin, we say al baitu. Okay, everyone, we should be very comfortable with this one. Read it like this: qalamun al qalamu. Okay, kitabun al kitabu, jamalun al jamalu. So here we can see all of them are qamariya letter, right? Because we're pronouncing the alif lam for all of them, right? You see? Now, this book gave you lots of adjectives. Interesting. So what happens when we say al-qalamu maksurun? What is maksur? Maksur is broken. Okay. So what is al-qamaru? Is it a definite or indefinite? It is definite because we have alif lam, right? And maksurun, is it a definite or indefinite? It is indefinite. You see what's happening? Our concept that we learned, when you have a definite and indefinite, it becomes what? Sentence. So now your brain thinking, wait a minute, this is a sentence. So I have to translate, or I have to think from the sentence perspective. So I know two words, is still not helping, because if you know the meanings of one is broken, one is pan, how are you going to say? Are you going to say broken pan, or the broken pan, or you're going to say the pan is broken? See, you have to know this, how to translate based on this concept. Is it a sentence or it's not a sentence? Is it a sentence or is it an adjective phrase, right? So once you know it's a sentence, then now you can translate properly, like most of you translating this one, okay? The pan is broken. You're not saying broken pan, okay? You're not saying the broken pan. You're saying the pan is broken. Why? Because it's definite, indefinite, it's a sentence, okay? So it's the pan is broken. Very nice. Same thing here. So al-babu maftuhun. Al-bab is definite. Maftuh is indefinite. How do we know it's indefinite? Because there's no alif lam. And we see beautiful tanween here. Okay. Hopefully you can see it. Okay. And last time, maybe hopefully nobody's name is maftuh. Could be. That's okay. That door is broken. Maftuh is broken. Huh? You guys are getting confused with the word. What is maftuh? We studied this in the last class. Maftuh is what? Maftuh is open. The door is open. The door is open. Okay, what's the question? Okay, so first question about the seasonal, how do we know the broken is indefinite? You're just giving the answer and question at the same time, because you're saying by default. So that means by default, you have to assume it's indefinite, right? That's what we say. So you're asking how to, so you're saying that by default, that means we'll assume that it's indefinite. So somebody has to prove, or you have to prove yourself. Why do you think it's definite? I'm thinking the broken is indefinite. You have to give me a proof. What are the proofs? We know 4 proofs. One of them is it a proper name? No. Is it a pronoun? I don't think so. It is a demonstrative pronoun? No way. And does it have alif lam? No. Oh, okay, good. Yes. Oh, yes, excellent. Yes, good. Yeah, so that's the thing. So you got it. So we need a reason to think otherwise. Otherwise, we're thinking here. I could have thought like al qalam. This is I'm lazy. It's also indefinite, because everything is indefinite. Great, but the first proof there's alif lam. So I have a case. You have alif lam and there's no tanwin here. Okay, fine. I rest my case. No, nothing is the question. There's, if you guys think there's any such a thing as a silly question, everybody knows 2 people usually never learns. One who's, like arrogant, they think I know everything, nobody can teach me anything. They will never learn, right? Another person is too shy. They never ask question. They will also never learn. So, as long as we're not one of these 2, inshallah, we have so many things to learn. Nothing is a silly question. Okay. So the thing is, we just want to know right now is basic 2 point, as Sister Naila pointed out, is that we assume everything is indefinite by default. Okay, so we have to have a reason, something to be definite. Here is very clear. We have alif lam. Okay, so no problem. That's the question is always welcome. Believe it or not, if you're not asking these questions, someone else, maybe they're not, it always helps. Not only you, someone else also gets helped by when I explain the answer, someone else are also, they're also being helpful. Okay, so being helped, no problem. Jade, so here looks like we have looks like a big sentence, right? We're getting into big business, right? But let's see what we can do. Al-waladu, what is al-waladu? First of all, is it definite or indefinite? Let's start with this one first. Al-waladu, is it definite or indefinite? Yes, definite. And jalisun, we don't know what it means, but is it indefinite or definite? Jalisun, this word? Definite or indefinite? Indefinite. So if first, if we get this part, then like obviously every day, every time we're not going to be asking that question, but you will make your eyes very sharp. Your eyes has to be sharp enough from, for example, from far away. You're looking at this, just by looking at this, your brain already know the first one is definite, second one is indefinite. You are looking at a sentence. At this point, maybe it's not there yet, but inshallah, we have to work on that thing. So our eyes are sharp, so we can see just by looking at it, we know this is a sentence. How? What do you mean it's a sentence? You don't even know the meaning, but I know it's a sentence because I see the first one is definite, second one is indefinite. Okay, so these kind of things should be in your brain. You should be playing around with this kind of ideas. Okay, inshallah, it's going to happen very soon, especially in this chapter. They give a lot of sentence. Now that we establish, we know this is a sentence, let's go into the meaning. Al-waladu, as like a lot of you are pointing out, is the boy. Okay, the boy. And jalisun is sitting. Okay, sitting. So now we have to just translate. This is our English business, it's not Arabic business. The boy is sitting. Okay. Now they put a comma, great, looks like a big, but what is wow? I'm gonna talk a little bit about wow, but here's interesting thing. Here's another a kind of eyes, like we have to sharpen our eyes for another thing, which is what? Which is how to differentiate, because some letters in Arabic language cannot stand by itself. It just likes to, they like to touch other things. They have to be, they cannot, they're very long, they don't like being lonely. They have to be with something. So one of them is wow. In English, we can just write and, she, and something, her friend, whatever. I don't know. See, the and is standing by itself. In Arabic, that's not how we write and. The word for and is wa. Wa can be empty on the other side, but wa always has to be uh, connected with the next word. Let's say you're writing something, okay? You're writing something and you come here and you want to write wow, and then you start. You cannot do this. You cannot have wow standing by itself. Wow always has to be attached to the word, okay, on the left side, not the right side, on the left side. So this is something. So why is it important? Because otherwise, if you don't understand this concept, you might think that wow is the part of the letter. It's one of the spelling. For example, we have the word walad. See, here's walad. Okay, here's also wow. So you have to know like this thing. You have to build your eyes. So for example, now if I say and, you have another wow. Okay, so wa waladun, and a boy. So you understand why I'm trying to explain, because sometimes you have to build this thing and understand this concept. This wow can be and also. Then you figure out whether or not this wow is an and or is part of the spelling. Okay. So another thing is happening here is, of course, we also learned there's alif lam. So three things are attached here. This is the word. Word is mudarris. Mudarris. Okay, I'm not going to put the ending because of the issue. And then we have alif lam, and then we have wow. Okay, all of these things are going together. Okay, just pointing out simple things, silly things you understand, but I'm just pointing them out. Okay, so now you have to translate. This is wow. Now you understand this is not, definitely not wow part of the word. It's and we have our the mudarris. Mudarris is a what? Anybody? Teacher? Yes, the teacher. Okay, what's the question? Okay, let's see. Is this an example where you said previously that the tanwin doesn't always mean a? Yes, this is exactly. So I was gonna say it, but I didn't mention it because when you have adjective, in adjective we don't say a, right? Very good point. So I was gonna mention it, but I figured maybe not bother you guys too much. Yes, it's a very good point. So you see, if we say tanwin is a or n, so why am I not writing the boy is a sitting? So if I convince you that tanwin is a, then you have to write it. But then I'm giving you wrong English grammar, right? So in adjective in English we don't write a or n, right? And also in the plural indefinite nouns we don't write a or n. Very good point. Okay, the next one is what? Could you please repeat about being on the left? Okay, so for example, you have walad. Maybe just write few names. That would be fine. Muhammad, Muhammadun, and Hasanun. two names, Muhammad and Hassan, right? So you want to say Muhammad and Hassan. So few things we cannot do. So good, that's a good question. Good. I'm explaining it. So we cannot have the wow connected with the right side. That's not good. We cannot say Muhammad and. In our mind, we want to do this one. Let's put what's default. We want to put it like this. Why? Because we're coming from English language. We want to say Muhammad wa Hassan. Muhammad and Hassan, right? That's how we would have been happy if that was the case. Just like in English language, it's standing by itself, but that's not the case. In Arabic language, the wow has to be, it's like a magnet, south north pole, boom, he's just gonna quickly attach to the next word. He cannot, there's no way he can stand by himself, he has to come here. There cannot be any space between this one and the next word. When you have a wow, you cannot have any space between the wow and the whatever the word comes next on your left side. Okay, no problem. Okay, so, and that's why when you're running out of space, okay, you're writing something. This is yours, that you don't have any more space here. This is your, now you wrote wow because you have so many space to write wow, but you cannot write wow here. You have to leave the whole space so that you can go back to the next line. You understand? You cannot leave wow hanging here. Okay, it's one of those friends. Don't leave me hanging. Wow is one of those friend. Make sense? Jade. So, this is good because you will see there are a lot of those small letters that always like to attach and confuses. You don't know if it's part of the word. There's a lot of them, like fa, there's a lam, you'll see them, so they like to attach with the other word, but they're not part of the word. They're completely separate word. Okay. For example, here, what do you think? You'll be confused. This is a wow or it is word itself. In the beginning, it's going to help you if you know the word first, because if you don't know waqifun, then you'll be confused. You might think wa is and the other word is alif, kaf, and fa. Okay, you'll be thinking maybe and alif, whatever the alif, kaf, and fa means. You understand? So that's why right now you also have to know the vocabularies. Okay, so if you studied the vocabularies, that's fine. If you didn't, because I didn't, ask you to remember the whole thing yet. Waqifun is standing. Okay, it means standing. It's the opposite of jalisun. So it's another way I like memorizing vocabularies. We are running out of time. I have 5 more minutes. I like memorizing vocabulary is when you have similar words or the opposite, always memorize them together. So for example, you're going to be memorizing jalisun is the opposite of waqifun. Okay, so it works with me. So you're memorizing two at the same time, but you're memorizing from the opposite. Then you know the standing, the sitting, and the standing. Okay, qaribun and ba'idun. Something's close and something is far. Okay, so inshallah that might help you. So in this book, they give you lots of adjectives. So because we'll be talking about adjective phrase very soon. Okay, so right now, if you understand this concept in this book, is nothing else other than the vocabularies. Everything is just simple as going through the vocabularies. Al-kitabu jadidatun. Jadida is new. Jadidun. Jadid is new. Okay, the book is new, and you have to translate as a sentence. Why? Because the first one is definite, second one is indefinite. Okay, and everything goes in the same pattern. Okay, so there are a lot of nice. So what I at least, because next week inshallah I want to go through the exercises, but for at least for this whole week, please see if you can translate this whole thing. Okay, just if you need writing practice, I would suggest you also write in Arabic, which is always a good idea, and then just write the translate. You will see whatever talk I gave, you think, oh my God, good, he explained nice and everything. But when it comes to you doing it, it's not the same. You'll lose. What did he say? He said something good, but you'll always come across this kind of situation. So it will only be, explained to you yourself when you do it by yourself, right? Inshallah. So please try to translate as many, hopefully all of them. And if you need, help with the vocabulary, I'm pretty sure the vocabulary list that I give you, you will find the word there. If not, you can ask me in the next class. Okay, any question? Okay, can you please repeat the I don't want to confuse you because these things are coming, right? This I just wanted to. The reason why I brought this one up because how you have to be why you have to be careful about the definite and indefinite. Okay, when you have two words side by side, it is important for us to know which one is definite. So even though we know what who means, he means he. I mean, is a pronoun, but in our mind we have to know it's a definite because that will help us to figure out whether it's a sentence or not. Okay, so right now, so only thing that I give you is we want to focus on is D plus I. So if the first word is definite, and I'm not even giving you the word in Arabic, like ma'arifa and nakira. Ma'arifa is definite, nakira is indefinite. Maybe once in a while, but right now I want you to get the concept, right? When the first word is definite and the second word is indefinite, that's when you're actually constructing a complete sentence, okay? Okay, so if you just want to see what I wrote here, but don't worry too much about this thing because we will be coming here. Okay, this kind of chart you will see a lot. When we talk about adjective, we'll come back to here. When we talk about idafa, we'll come back here. But those are coming later. Okay, so right now, only thing I'm worried about is this one. It's equal to sentence. Okay, good. Any other question? Oyakom. Okay, so yes, please, I'll be posting these things. If you need to hear them again, you can hear them and just do those exercise. And 3-4 words a day, vocabularies, and whole weeks. I know we're all busy. Even if we have like laying down, just looking at like for 5-10 minutes, inshallah it's going to help. Okay, otherwise the right now maybe you're thinking easy because this concept will be piling up, right? We're not going back anymore. We're not going to teach you hada hadalika. No, things are coming up. So now it's alif lam, next will be like something else, then the preposition comes, before you know the idafa starts showing up. So things will be really coming up. So that's why it's better to get comfortable with this ideas that we talk about each week. Okay, so you're welcome. Thank you. Okay. Jazakallah khair. Okay, inshallah. I will see you guys next week. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.